Almost every animal on Earth has it. Humans lost it. Your skin is repairing UVA damage right now. Sunlight writes thousands of tiny errors into your DNA every day. Your cells have machinery that catches most of them, but what happens when that repair machinery slows down? Today we are talking about DNA repair enzymes, not just how they work. There's also one strange enzyme here. Almost every animal on Earth has it. Humans lost it. And you can now buy it in a sunscreen that fixes damage that already happened. And by the end, you will know which single sunscreen ingredient has real clinical evidence of reversing UVA damage, not just blocking it. Chapter 1. What UVA does to your DNA. First, let's go through the basics. UV light hits the DNA in your skin cells. When it lands on two neighboring bases, usually thymine or cytosine, it can fuse them together. This fused pair is called a cyclobutane pyrimidine dimer, or CPD. It is the most common kind of UV damage. The cell cannot read past the bond like that. Copying stalls, reading stalls, the cell cannot work normally until the spot is fixed. Leave it unfixed, and the cell may copy itself with the error still in place. And do that enough times and mutations pile up. That is one of the ways skin cancer starts. So your cells run a system that finds these errors and fixes them before they get copied. Your body runs a find and replace function, and it has been running since the day you were born. Chapter 2. How cells repair UV damage, the find and replace system. When the cell spots a UV lesion, it starts a repair process called nucleotide excision repair, or NER. Here is the idea. The cell finds the error, it checks it. Then it cuts out a short stretch of DNA around the damage. In human cells, that piece is roughly 25 to 30 letters long. Then the whole chunk gets thrown away. Out the window, bye-bye. Then the cell builds fresh DNA, using the matching undamaged strand as a template. It seals the new piece into place. The lesion is gone, the sequence is back to correct, and this is real restoration. Not a workaround, not a patch. This is happening in your skin constantly, thousands of times a day. But wait, there is also a quality inspector. Your cells carry a protein called p53. Think of it as a quality inspector standing over the assembly line. When p53 senses DNA damage, it calls a stop. Pause the cell cycle. Hold. Give the repair crew time to work. And if the repair succeeds, p53 clears the cell to move on. If the damage is too severe to fix, p53 tells the cell to destroy itself rather than survive broken. The dying cells are called sunburn cells. So a lot of what we call sunburn is actually your body deleting cells it no longer trusts. Your sunburn, it is a feature. Your body is clearing out cells that could turn cancerous. It hurts, but it has a purpose. Chapter 3. The enzyme we lost and can now get back. Here is the strange part. Most living things carry an enzyme called photolyase. Plants, bacteria, fish, birds, reptiles, almost everything except one group, placental mammals. That group includes us. Photolyase does something completely different from the excision repair we just covered. It does not cut anything out. It does not build anything new. It reverses the damage directly. So how does photolyase actually work? Photolyase binds straight onto the damaged spot. Then it grabs energy from visible light, mostly the blue and violet range in daylight. It uses that energy to snap the bond UV created. The fused bases come apart. The DNA goes back to its original sequence. That is reversal, not reconstruction. The damage is undone. We lost the gene. Early mammals lost the photolyase gene. The leading idea is the nocturnal bottleneck. While dinosaurs ruled the day, early mammals survived by living at night. Photolyase needs light to work, so in the dark it was useless. Over millions of years, with no pressure to keep it, the gene faded out of the placental mammal line. But you can get it back on your skin. Photolyase can be grown in bacteria, purified and packed into a topical product. Wrapped in tiny carriers, it can be spread on the skin. With photolyase on your skin in daylight, CPDs can be reversed directly. That is a different job from any normal sunscreen. Standard sunscreen stops UV before it reaches your DNA. Photolyase works on damage that already got through. So our branch of mammals lost this enzyme. Now you can put it back on your skin from a tube. That is the story of this episode. Chapter 4. Why this gets harder as you age. Here is why all of this matters more over time. Both repair systems slow down with age. NER, the find and replace system, gets slower in older cells. The inspector, P53, gets less responsive. Repair takes longer, more damage slips through unfixed. At the same time, decades of UV exposure leave mutations stacked up in your fibroblasts. Those are the cells that make collagen, remember? Older skin makes less good collagen, partly because the cells that build it have taken on too many errors. And this is why a 65-year-old faces a much higher skin cancer risk than a 25-year-old, even with the same sun exposure. And it's not only the total damage, it is the falling ability to deal with new damage as it arrives. When did you last think about the fact that your skin cells are picking up mutations from the sun? Most people never do. It is happening anyway. Chapter 5. What happens without DNA repair? There is a rare genetic condition called xeroderma pigmentosum, or XP. In people with XP, the NER system is broken from birth. They carry mutations in the genes that build the repair machinery. The result is extreme UV sensitivity. Even short sun exposure can cause pain and blistering. Severe freckling and sunspots show up in early childhood. Skin cancers often start in the first or second decade of life, far earlier than usual. Many people with XP have to avoid daylight almost entirely. Indoors or full sun protection all the time. It is the clearest human proof that DNA repair is what stands between you and skin cancer. Take it away and the cancers come fast. Chapter 6. Products that actually repair DNA damage. Eryphotona actinica, the photolyase sunscreen. This is a product with the strongest evidence for actually reversing UV damage, not just blocking it. Eryphotona is made by Istin, a Spanish company. It pairs photolyase with high protection UV filters, with the enzyme carried in tiny liposomes. It is sold as a medical device in Europe, aimed at sun-damaged skin and actinic keratosis. Studies show it lowers the number of CPDs in skin compared with a plain sunscreen. There is also evidence in people who cannot repair UV damage on their own. In reports on xeroderma pigmentosum patients, regular use was linked to fewer new actinic keratosis than expected. That is a meaningful signal, even though these were small studies. So how do you use it? Apply daily, like any sunscreen. The enzyme needs light to switch on, so normal daytime light activates the repair side. It works across the day while you wear it. And a backup for the system, antioxidants. Eryphotona handles direct lesion reversal. Antioxidants handle the side damage. Vitamin C, vitamin E, and ferulic acid are the usual picks. UV also spins off free radicals that cause separate oxidative damage. Antioxidants mop those up. A morning routine with an antioxidant serum plus Eryphotona gives you two jobs at once. Cut the oxidative damage and reverse some of the direct UV damage. And then we have the dietary layer. Support from the inside matters. To rebuild DNA during the fill-in step of repair, your cell needs raw materials called nucleotides. They also need energy, and NAD+ helps power that process. As you remember, earlier in this series, the NAD+ and PDRN episodes covered exactly these building blocks and the energy supply behind repair. And you know that enzyme our ancestors lost, photolyase? Eryphotona is how you put it back. It has the strongest evidence of any topical for reversing UV damage instead of just preventing it. That is why it is worth knowing about. And I also have links down below if you want to try it out. Chapter 7. Every time you step outside, your skin is running repairs you never notice. Most of the time they work, the damage gets fixed, the cell moves on, but with age and with years of sun, those repairs get slower. Damage slips through, mutations build, and skin cancer gets more likely. Once you see that, sun protection stops being about vanity. It is not really about wrinkles. It is about keeping your cells from stacking up the mutations that turn dangerous. And photolyase is a genuinely new idea in skincare. An enzyme we lost that you can now apply to your skin. Not just prevention, actual repair of damage that already happened. So wear your SPF, look at a photolyase product if you are serious about DNA protection, build a routine that supports repair at every level, that is DNA repair. But this series is not done yet. Next time we go inside growth factors, the signals that tell your skin to rebuild itself. This episode was about fixing damage. Growth factors are about what gets built next. It might be the most misunderstood ingredient in skincare. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss it. If you found this useful, subscribe and turn on notifications. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye!